Greetings, citizens of the United States of America. I'm currently here to discuss your economy. You are currently driving yourselves towards a $20 trillion debt. A debt based on false strings, created by financial oligarchs who are out to economically enslave you, so that you may not remove them from power. They will keep you dependent. I'm going to discuss exactly what they're doing, how the mechanic works, and how you can stop it. You want to fix your economy, America? Then listen up. You have something known as a fiat currency. It is a currency backed by absolutely no commodities. Think of it like this. Look at baseball cards. A baseball card is only simply worth as much as there are in existence. For example, if one baseball card has 1 million copies, and another baseball card only has 10 copies, which baseball card is worth more? Obviously, the one with less copies. Now, the same applies to your fiat dollar. The more dollars they make, the less it is worth, because it is not backed by a commodity, rather by how much is circulated through the system. Now, the way this mechanic works is that they loan money through a treasury system, through private bank cartels to your government. Your government then taxes you to pay them back, to include paying back interest on top of what they borrowed. Now, how do you pay back an interest with the amount of money you borrowed, when the amount of money you borrowed is less than the amount of interest you have to pay back? Well, you have to borrow more money, which means you have now borrowed more interest debt money. Again, debting yourself, but this time deeper. And now that you have two debts, you now have to borrow twice as much to pay back both of these debts and both interests, locking it down. Therefore, you continually borrow a debt-based currency to pay back your debt-based borrowing. In a never-ending cycle of debt, you can never escape it. It is the world's biggest scam. Fiat currencies. Then, they'll sign you onto derivatives-based debts, like they already have, where you'll have to pay back debts you never created, but in fact, treasuries and banks did. And while you're busy paying back their debts by borrowing money with interest from them to pay back their debts, you just go into more debt with these very same people who have put you in debt in the first place. So how are you going to get rid of the debt? Please, tell me how redistributing middle-class wealth will help save this country, when the middle class doesn't even have a micro-fraction of the total wealth. The banks do. But I don't see anyone going after the banks. No. I see idiots and political left-wing pundits calling for communism and socialism, which will solve nothing, because ultimately the leaders of these communistic and socialistic parties will be the same people who put you into debt in the first place. The wealth will never change. The only way you can solve your problem is to either arrest, and if incapable of arresting them, kill these people. If you don't, you will be enslaved economically. Your children will be raped of their dignity and their futures before they're even born. What are you going to do about it, America? Are you going to get rid of the Federal Reserve? No. You're going to call for what social engineers are calling for, because you blindly follow as if it's correct. You never think about the actualities of the situation and what's really driving these debts or how to solve them, because you have no background. no profession within these systems. You have no idea what you're talking about. Rather, you merely regurgitate what you're told, because you're not intelligent enough to think about it yourself. Well, I just told you. So why don't you regurgitate a fact, then, since you have it now? Then again, some of you will blindly turn your heads and fall down the shitter anyway, where you belong. Disgusting.